Today's episode of Variant is brought to you by Carbonite.
Today on Variant, I give you guys 5 things you need to know about The Walking Dead Season 4. Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than Miley Cyrus wins the Train Wreck of the Year award. I'm your host, Arris. The Walking Dead Season 4 just premiered this past Sunday, so since the show just kicked back up, it's a perfect time to talk about what to expect this season, hitting 5 of what I think are some of the most important things you need to know going forward. Warning, however, if you're not caught up with the series or have not watched the first episode of Season 4 yet, today we'll have spoilers. Again, spoilers to come, so heed my warning going forward. Now, before I get into the 5 things, some of you may want to know what my thoughts were on the Season 4 premiere. As always, I loved it. I thought it was a great kickoff to the season, especially the scene when the walkers were just falling through the ceiling of the supermarket. It was literally raining walkers, and it was definitely one of the goriest scenes from the series thus far. There was just so much blood and guts, it was awesome. Like the one biter when he was hanging from the ceiling by his intestines, it was disgustingly awesome. And we were introduced to a crap ton of new characters and just a new way of life in general for our group, so I'm really excited to see where this season takes us. With that out of the way though, and in no particular order, let's begin the 5 things you should know about The Walking Dead Season 4. Picking up where the last season left off, Rick is still having some, let's say, issues. He's not in full crazy town anymore, but he's still not shooting with a full barrel, if you will. So, unlike the past 3 seasons of The Walking Dead where the group has always been led by Rick, this season seems to be changing it up a bit. The group at the prison is now led by Consul, which is mentioned in the season premiere episode, and we'll be seeing more of them in episode 2 of this season. Which I guess is good for Rick. He's a great leader and all, but he's always seemed to be somewhat uncomfortable with the role, and as of late he's been a little cuckoo, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. A group as small as this one being led by a democratic inner circle seems just like a bomb waiting to explode, and I think it's pretty safe to say it won't be long before the council falls apart, or at least it's some huge plot point for this season. Another thing you need to know for Season 4 is we're going to be getting a bunch of new threats, as all the marketing for Season 4 has emphasized. New threats for our survivors, and they weren't lying. And yes, that's plural, threats, as in more than one. We have the walkers, as always, and then there's going to be one inside the prison, apparently, which the trailer from San Diego Comic-Con even alludes to. And even a new wrinkle to the zombie infection, and certain characters who seem about ready to explode, including one new to the show, and one from the comics who we've been waiting to see break free. So, it might be safe to say that by the end of episode 2, our group might be in even bigger trouble than when they were facing down against the governor. Another thing to know about this season is the theme of the season is Are We Too Far Gone, which is said by executive producer Scott Gimple, which Andrew Lincoln, aka Rick Grimes, even elaborated in saying, can we go back to the people we were? And apparently, this season is not as kinetic or action-packed as the previous seasons, but much more of a quieter season and more about character development. But at the same time, rest assured, producers and actors of the series say there's still going to be plenty of insane action sequences and bloody zombie gore, which the first episode proved, all while driving a lot more of the show by story, which is completely fine by me, because as much blood and action and violence is entertaining and awesome, any good show and movie or comic is always driven first and foremost by the story. One of the biggest changes for Season 4 is Rick, and for those of you who have already seen the first episode, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Rick has started to dig himself out of the pit he was in last season, and as some sort of self-punishment, he has taken on the role of a farmer under the tutelage of probably the coolest old man in the world, Herschel. He doesn't help with kill sweeps anymore and also refuses to carry a gun. His fear of guns is deep and psychological, as if merely holding one would cause him to go ballistic and AWOL, but I mean, as we all know from the comics and TV show, Rick and his revolver go hand in hand like Mario and Luigi, Chewbacca and Han, Batman and Robin, Riggs and Murtaugh, Slurpees and Reese's Sticks. Okay, the last one is more of a personal preference, but nonetheless, you guys know what I'm saying. It's only a matter of time before Rick will never want to leave his revolver behind again. And for the last thing I think you guys should know, and that fans of the Governor will love to hear, is that Season 4 will have 2 standalone episodes devoted entirely to what's going on with the Governor, which shouldn't come as any surprise, as A, the Governor is an awesome villain, and just to focus on him for a couple episodes is a great idea, and B, they did something like this last season, having standalone prison episodes and standalone Woodbury episodes. Obviously, this doesn't rule out the Governor from appearing in any other episodes, it just confirms that it will have 2-hour-long episodes focusing on what he's been up to since leaving Woodbury. And hopefully what he's been up to is going all crazy shooting more walkers with that AUG assault rifle, looking all bam triumph as if he's right out of Call of Duty. Clearly, I'm a fan of that scene from the last episode of Season 3. It was freaking awesome. Carbonite protects your pictures and your files from a computer crash, fire theft, or when you accidentally delete a file. By automatically and continually backing up your files and keeping them securely off-site, you'll never have to remember to back up again. Whether you have 1 or 2 computers at your home or several computers at your small business, Carbonite is the better backup plan. Over 1 million customers trust Carbonite to protect their home and small business computer files. With plans starting at just $59 a year, start your free trial at Carbonite.com with the offer code VARIANT, and you'll get 2 bonus months if you decide to buy. That's Carbonite.com, and the offer code for 2 bonus months is VARIANT. Did you know in the first episode of The Walking Dead, the first walker Rick Grimes kills leaves a blood splatter on his shirt in the shape of a skull, which is a pretty cool and nice little Easter egg left by the makeup artist. And you know what? I usually only give you guys 1 did you know fact per episode, but I'm gonna give you more than 1 today. Why, you ask? Well, why not? Did you know fact number 2? In the world of The Walking Dead, the walkers outnumber the living about 5,000 to 1. And lastly, did you know fact number 3? The crossbow that Daryl uses is a Horton Scout HD 125, which retails for about $300. Norman Reedus has also even been known to take the crossbow home with him after filming, which I can't blame him. That crossbow is pretty BA. First up for Wednesday, October 16th, we have Uncanny X-Men issue 13. Wolverine just lost his healing factor and takes a mortal hit. Also, a surprise ending will change everything in the X-Men event of 2013. Here we have Superior Spider-Man issue 19, a moment that changes the world of Spider-Man and the Marvel Universe for years to come. Which Spider-Man is responsible for such a thing? Spider-Man 2099 or the Superior Spider-Man? Now we have Batman Superman issue 4. It's the conclusion of the first arc in this series as one world dies and another lives. Plus we discover why Superman and Batman have no memory of this tragic first adventure. And finally we have Justice League of America issue 8, a forever evil tie-in. The Justice League of America is dead, but in the aftermath, one of its team members uncovers the JLA's darkest secrets. But let's be honest, they're not really dead, and if they are, not for long. Well, that brings another episode of Variant to a close, but leave your comments and thoughts below, or even recommendations for future episodes. I always like to see what you guys would like to hear me rant about. But as always, remember you can follow us on our Variant Facebook page to keep up with the show and all things comic related. You can also follow me on the Twitter world at twitter.com/Arris_Quinones. But I will see you guys next week when I talk about all things comics. You may want to know what my thoughts were.